Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a Time for Change call tomorrow night at 9 p.m., and on Friday, Reverse Aging Health call. What area of your life do you most need to create something completely new? Often people get hung up on avoiding the material world because they assume it is not spiritual. Yet, how will you feel when you follow through and complete that one task that you are avoiding doing now? This is about being at peace with yourself and your life exactly as it is. Do that one thing today that you've been avoiding doing. This will allow you to be a new person whose mind is calm, bright, and completely at ease. Don't wait. Do that one thing that will put your mind at ease. One of the biggest plagues that we have, I wouldn't call it a plague, it's a thought that we all experience. None of us are exempt from it. Different degrees, different times in our lives, but it's the word fear. And if we only knew that within ourselves that fear is a thought. That's all it is. Isn't it anything else? It's just a thought. Now, inadvertently, we don't address it. Let's just say it comes in and we usually embrace it because of the fact that it could be anything. You know, you could be driving along and looking at something and lose focus on the road and veer, and then your heart jumps and you're shaking a little bit. Fear. But fear, what is fear made of? Really, what is it made of? Fear is made of ignorance of one's own self. Fear is made of ignorance of one's own self. Our lives, the ones we have right now in this moment, are meant to be a magical manifesting adventure. In order to experience our greatest magic, power, and freedom, we must choose to first be totally free from the grasp of fear. When our heart is truly fearless, our soul trusts that it's safe to perpetually open up to life, and nothing feels impossible to us. We can ask anything of the universe, and it is not too much. The fearless being is the most desired, empowered, and beautiful being in the entire universe. Whatever their heart desires instantly begins to manifest into this world. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, that's crazy, ridiculous, no way, outrageous. Yeah. When each of us learn how to transform fear, every moment becomes an invitation to meet the divine. Awaiting within each of us is an enlightening, heart-opening, godly experience. The secret to discovering this fearless freedom begins with one simple step. Approach all fear with fascination. What do most of us do? We ignore it. Kinda, yeah. We kind of push it in the back corner in hopes that it'll go away. When we meet fear with curiosity, life takes us into higher states of expansion instead of deeper limiting sensations of contraction. Fascination makes us become more open, relaxed, and receptive to the magic that is all around us. We naturally want to dive into this life and experience each person we meet with endless wonder, curiosity, and this creates more intimacy. It requires tremendous courage to change our relationship with fear. Yet, if we don't fear, if we don't fear, fear will continue to castrate the rest of our life. And sometime this week, pick one day where you're going to create more freedom in your life by meeting your fear with fascination. Whatever may happen to you in these short 24 hours, don't let any fear shrink you, yet allow it to move through you in such a way that it creates a transformation inside you. Breathe into your fear. Welcome it. When you say yes to it, it will shift before your very eyes. If you can maintain this commitment to yourself for this one day, you might just believe by evening time that you are one of the most fortunate, sacred, amazing beings who are alive on this planet. The possibility for any of us living in doubt, skepticism, and resistance to this life will always be there. In each moment, fear can sneak in and take on one of these disguises. It doesn't mean we have to pay attention to it. We can choose to ignore any fearful energy or feeling that we sense growing inside of us and breathe beyond it. Simply take a look underneath the contracted fear-based energy, and you'll see that it's an angel in disguise, simply there to help each and every one of us create deeper roots of love. Fear has this very special and sacred job in our lives. It is going to make sure we don't die without feeling ridiculously alive. If we are not pouncing on our life mission, taking the risk to open our hearts to love every day, believing in the impossible and reaching for the miraculous, then fear will do its job and start eating at you. Now, we need fear. We need fear there. Yet we don't have to live in it. If our world was completely without the concept of fear, we would be zombies. There would be no courage or vigilance of awareness. We wouldn't be very accurate at focusing our precious attention and intention into what makes our heart truly sing. Courage is not absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Ambrose Redmond. We can never talk enough about fear because it's so misunderstood. It really is. It isn't an enemy. It is an ally. But see, here's the confusion. Most of us don't know how to master these things. We don't think about it, do we? If fear comes in, it comes in quick. Sometimes it just sideswipes you. But then when we address it, and we look at it, and we just kind of let it walk right through us, then we know that it is nothing but an illusion. Now, if you had fear and you walked and it was like hitting a brick wall, that'd be different. But any fear, any turmoil, anything, when it can walk through you without you attaching to it, it's an illusion. How many things do you think are an illusion? Is the body you're in an illusion? Is the physical material world an illusion? What do you believe is real? There's only one thing that is real, and that's the God within you. That's why going within is so imperative. We discover that we are the God. We discover that we are divine perfection. And this isn't through ego mind, this is through heart mind. This is an exploration for ourselves that we choose to do. Nothing that we're forced to do, nothing that we're goaded into doing. It's something we choose to do. We move into this. And then we discover. How about all those programmed thoughts that we have that run right like clouds in the sky, like a superhighway, and where they just keep floating by, and they're programs. They aren't ours. They aren't our thoughts. Because remember, when you generate a thought, that thought is sent out. It doesn't come in. That's how you know that it is not your thought. You get real good at it too, because you start going, well, that's not my thought. Even though you would absolutely swear it was your thought. Because it came in. It didn't go out. You generate over 60,000 plus thoughts a day. You see how confusing we can get with ourselves? You discover that there's a lot of illusion. What creates the illusion? The ego mind. That's what creates the illusion. And then we begin to realize that, well, if this is an illusion, why is it created? Who creates it? You do. Who's watching it? The God within you. Who's viewing me right now? The God within you. You ever been doing anything by yourself, right? And you could swear that somebody is watching you. You ever had that experience? Now, this isn't nefarious, because a lot of us are taught that, oh, it's a nefarious, it's some boogeyman watching us. But it's the God within that body that's watching you. That's why you have that feeling. Sometimes the God that you are will peek outside and watch you. Not judging, observing. Now, we know that the God that we are is not an illusion, but we create everything around us as illusion. Why do we do that? So we can be entertained. But a lot of the time, since we don't understand who and what we are, we get lost in the entertainment, and we think it's real. Well, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can, play with it, enjoy it, whatever. So it's got to be real. Whatever that mind can think, it can be created. So you think about fear, you can create fear, you can create worry. It's just endless what the mind can create. Now, when you're the master through the heart mind then tells the mind, let's create this. And so the mind you send that. Remember, sending the thought out is your thought. So when you send that thought out, the universe begins. It starts manifesting whatever it was you ask it for. And then you move on. Just pay attention to it. Well, if you want to visit it once in a while and say, well, this will be great. No expectations, no attachments. And the only reason we say that is all this illusion. When we start expecting or we're attached to the outcome of anything that we are desiring or wanting, we suffer. Why? What's the suffering? Well, we get upset, right? Disappointed, let down, a lot of different things. Because we didn't get what we wanted. But that's when we rush things, when we push things. We tell the universe, you got to push it, And then when people say they don't want that to happen, whatever it is, you ever say that to yourself? I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And it happens. Because you get the good and the bad. because, you could have a lot of money in the universe. Somehow opportunity comes, something happens, and you have a lot of money all of a sudden. But then with that money comes a huge responsibility. We just got kind of twisted, confused, went into amnesia, and forgot about who and what we were and are. And we started to believe that we were the body and that we were this physical material world for a very long time. And now many of us are starting to choose that we know now that everything is an illusion. And we're such powerful beings is that we created to entertain us. Isn't it crazy? We create things that most people wouldn't want to create to entertain them. Disappointment, dissatisfaction, all kinds of letdowns and suffering. When are you the most surprised? You intend something, you send it out, right? And you just say, I know it's going to happen. Well, do you know when it's going to happen? No, I'm not concerned about when it's going to happen. I know the universe is it'll do its thing. And it'll be here. In the exactly perfect timing. You imagine that we get to the point, which we will, where we're through the heart mind, not the ego mind, and we direct the ego mind to do things, that we send out these thoughts, that we manifest things. And we know inexplicably that the universe always delivers. Even the stuff that you say you don't want. So it's being mindful. It is truly being mindful of your thoughts. It is being aware of which ones are truly yours and which ones aren't. Because we're being constantly tricked by illusion. We really are. We're being tricked all day, every day by illusion. And see, for us, as long as we can touch it and feel it, it isn't an illusion. To us, that's real. We're in a holographic universe. What does that mean? It means it's created out of light arrangement. And it's coming full circle for all of us, and you can feel it. It is here, and the transition is in full swing. We're coming back around to who and what we are. It's been eons since we lost our memories of who and what we were. And it's starting to come back to understand that we are the God. We are the God source. We're not the body. We're not things. We're not money. We're not any of that. We're way beyond any of that. So if you enjoy, you want a graceful, wonderful, beautiful, happy, joyous life, guess what? It's you becoming clear of who and what you are and the power that you are, and to determine the type of life and then manifest that type of life. It is that simple. It really is. And then when you know illusions, you create the illusions to entertain you. This is a great illusion. It really does entertain me. I'm really enjoying it. Look at the scenery. I am the scenery. I am the God. Everything is me, and I'm everything. We're learning again to flow with all of the cosmic energy of existence and beyond. We're learning to finally figure out that we're something more than a God. We are consciousness. And not only that, we are beyond consciousness. These are the different steps that we continue to move toward to have full discovery of who and what we are. Who is it up to? Is it up to your spouse? Is it up to your friends? Is it up to your relatives? Is it up to strangers? Who is it really up to? You. It's your decision alone. There's been so many things printed in so-called ancient documents, confusing people that God created man, right? You've heard that before. Is that an illusion? Because you are God in a human body. Isn't that interesting? So if you were to understand that, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to go into this body. I am God. I am the God source. I'm going to go in this body. I'm going to experience physical life. Now, in a way, the soul creates the body for the soul to experience. Isn't that interesting? The soul creates the body so that it can experience the body. How does that happen? Well, if you look at how these bodies are generated, created, and where does the power come from? You, the God. So the God created the body so that the God could experience physical life. There's no external thing. That's another illusion. There's no real external. But when we start to realize that we create the illusions to entertain ourselves while in physical form, it gets a lot different, doesn't it? It really is a lot different. Because then our curiosity goes into high gear, and then we start asking ourselves, why in the heck did I create that to entertain myself? It's a whole different perspective. It is an on-path understanding. See, you imagine that. We create this external world and all of this stuff to entertain ourselves. That's why it seems so kind of strange. Well, why am I not creating something that's at ease and relaxed and joyful? Why am I always creating all this stuff that's constantly irritating and stressful and upsetting? Why? See, then you have introspective. You start going within. You start asking the God that you are, why do I create this stuff? And you're gentle and kind and generous and humble with yourself and in deep gratitude. But you say, well, there's a reason why I'm creating this. And it is all illusion, but it entertains me. What do you think that the only essence or energy that never changes, there's only one. Everything else changes outside of us. Okay? Body changes, yes. But there's one thing that never changes, and it's the only thing that is real. The God that you are. It is divine perfection. Now, it may go to different heights of divine perfection, but it stays the same. It is divine perfection. That's what we are. And you begin to realize that you're not the body. You're not the name. You're not anything. It's all an illusion. This whole life is created so that we can experience some form of physical, and we create illusions to entertain us. See, when we stop feeding fear, right? When we stop feeding fear, fear can feed us. It's just energy. And when we find out how to welcome it in with curiosity, it sharpens our focus, it clarifies our intentions, and it makes our whole body, mind super passionate about what we want to get out of this life. We're all running away from ourselves. Yet whatever parts we are running away from always end up becoming what we run towards at some point. We're all running away from ourselves, yet whatever parts we are running away from always end up becoming what we run towards at some point. In this lifetime or the next. Learn how to embrace your fear, love your fear, and you will form a deeper spiritual respect of life. You will appreciate all variations of this life and not just be seeking to have easy, good days. Find what it is you truly fear, love, intimacy, success, failure. We always have an opposite. There's always an opposite. There's always an opposite. You know, you're afraid of fear. You're afraid of love. You're afraid of hatred. You're afraid of goodness. You're afraid of badness. You're afraid of being poor. You're afraid of being rich. You're afraid of being happy. You're afraid of being sad. You understand how it works? It's right there. And it keeps us in a stymied state. So when we stop running away from ourselves, we'll begin to appreciate all variations of this life that we create. We will know that we create it. And it's so true that so many of us, again, it dictates to us, right? The moment we start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on our heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, of everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight, or almost no weight. So weightless, one can fly in the open sky, Osho. And there are some people that do that. So if you will, go to a place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, relax the body. It is imperative to relax the body. Absolutely imperative. It is the first step to our doorway to the God within. You focus on your breath. You sit, you focus on your breath, you listen to the breath, and you literally will move into the now. You'll leave the mind alone, the ego alone, the subconscious mind alone. And the body will respond very well. And how many times can you count, honest with yourself, where you have been completely relaxed? Where you have left the ego mind alone? Where you're just in a state of just absolute peace, bliss, and you aren't doing anything. And you address all the illusions that the ego mind has created. We can get to the point where you can have that body that you're in relaxed, walking around doing things. You see? You focus on your breath, right? And you walk around doing things, and you're at ease. I think that a lot of us think that stress is a natural state of being. Ego mind's done such a good job with that. And it isn't. And what is stress? Another illusion. Why do you think we can walk through them or they can walk through us without us being attached to them or expectations with them? It's like someone says to themselves, I'm concerned about the available money to pay my rent. Right? Instead of saying that, the universe has my back. Things will manifest to allow me to pay my rent. And you don't doubt it. And you don't fear the outcome. You don't have any attachments. You don't have any expectations. You just know. You know. And someone could ask you, how many friends in your entire life can you count on one? Can you count? Right? On your fingers. How many? And I mean a friend that will do anything for you, drop everything when you need them, be there at your side whenever, no matter where they're at, what they're doing. How many can you genuinely say, honestly and truthfully and trustfully, that you have? We all have one. We always have had one. The universe. Best friend. Always there. Every decision. Every direction. Finite. Perfectly engineered. Without fail. I would say that is a best friend. So none of us are friendless. We all have a best friend in the universe where you can trust them, trust the universe implicitly. You have no doubt, no worry, no stress, no fear at all. Those are all gone. You intend and you know the universe will deliver. It isn't an ego thing. It is just a knowing. It's a heart-mind thing. It isn't arrogant. It is just confirmed and super omnipotently powerful. So you try that. You can say, I do have a best friend. I've got the best friend anybody could ever want. The universe, which never lets me down, always has my back. Whatever I ask it for, it brings to me. So we get to that understanding, that depth of understanding. And we're in these bodies. And we can relax them at will. And we can meditate at will. You could be walking down the street meditating. Sitting on a park bench and meditating. I wouldn't recommend it in the car, driving, meditating. But you'd be amazed how many times you actually are meditating, but you don't think it's meditation because somebody says, oh, you got to do this kind of meditation in order for it to be effective. Really? Okay. Now, we can look in these bodies anytime we want. We can go right into cells. I mean, it's endless because we're not the body. We're the God within it. And when you look at the body, you see these lights. What are those lights? They're like in a straight line from the tailbone to the top of the head. Well, some people call them chakras. Chakras mean wheels of light. They mean wheels. These are lights, wheels of light. And they're etheric spiritual energy. They're not something we can touch and pick up. And since the gods that we are is etheric spiritual energy, doesn't it make sense that that's what we flow through? That's how we connect to this body. All the organs, all the emotions, everything. Right down to the quantum quark. Doesn't it make sense that once we discover that we are the God within the body and not the body, that we will slowly but surely learn the understanding that we are the power of healing? That we'll eventually be able to just heal whatever it is going on with the body in a matter of seconds through intent. Now, we know that we all wander. We have these thoughts, and some of them come in are the craziest thoughts, aren't they? You say to yourself, where the heck did that thought come from? That can't be my thought. And you're right, it isn't your thought. So you look in front of you, you got these beautiful paths. They're golden and shimmering, the leaves on the trees gold shimmering. You got this bright emerald green grass going down the center, well manicured and mowed. And, on the left side, and the one in the center path, the now, looks brand new. Doesn't even look like it's been disturbed. On the left-hand side, you have the past, and it's been worn. There's been a lot of people that have used that path. A lot. And then the one on the right is the future. And it's used a lot. You can tell it's kind of worn. And why is the one in the center, the now, so unused? Because most people don't know what it's like to be in the now. They don't know what it is to be in the now. Now, the one on the left is past, and we reminisce. None of us are exempt from it. It's kind of fun. We have certain things that spark us, and we say, well, this was really fun. I really had a good time then. And that's what we do. It's fun. But we don't stay there. We just reminisce, and then we'll go back into or move forward into the now, and concentrate on staying in the now. But some of us still the same. No matter what, we end up bringing that past into a future that doesn't exist. We end up creating that past, creating that future from that past, reliving that past in that future. This is why a lot of people will say to themselves, no matter where we do, what we do, how we do it, we always end up here. Now, others of us are going to the future. None of us are exempt from that. We wander off into the future. Future doesn't exist. We create it in the now. But we still go there. And we want to know things. Want to know them now. Want to know when you're going to meet the lover of your life, your dreams. Or the job of your life, your dream job. Or a windfall or money and great wealth and abundance and great well-being and the body's healthy. And when is all this going to happen for me? And all along, the only thing that we have is the now. It's not layer after layer after layer of things. It's the now. That's where we find peace, in the now. The space between heartbeats, the actual breath, is in the now. It's moment to moment. You could not answer anybody that would ask you, what are you going to do tomorrow? You wouldn't be able to answer it. Because all you know is that you're in the now, and that's where your peace is. That's where your happiness is, joy is. That's where you stay out of the ego mind, the subconscious mind. For some, it's not real easy. Others, it's doable. So the next time you feel pulled by a thought, and you might not feel pulled, you might just end up in that thought. To be gentle, kind, generous, and humble, and in deep gratitude with yourself. You just say, okay, so I've wandered off. These aren't my thoughts. I know that. I will focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now 3,000% of the time. And people say, well, how do you go into the now? Whenever you choose to go in the now, you focus on your breath, you listen to your breath, you are silent, and you'll be in the now. Now, we know the souls that we are, the gods that we are, the God source that are in these bodies, enter these bodies and power these bodies up. Everything comes online, oxygen, breath, everything. And as long as you're in that body and you're functioning, then you're powering it. So we know that the heaven is the soul, the God that we are. We know that the body is the earth. So we are literally heaven on earth. Not only that, we're shining our light 24/7, blasting all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. Blasting it with the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, and purest of the purest, purest eternal love. It's unending. You know, you can create something called a blast party. Everybody gets together and they blast each other with deep eternal love. And that'd be amazing. Not a joke, but something fun to do. Alice is having a blast party. We're going to literally just sit and experience shining our light on each other. And we may learn in this life. It just depends. If you go within with the God and stay there and learn. But when we leave these bodies, when we choose to leave them, when some light starts to chase us, wants to entice us to enter the light, go into the light, we will know that we are already the light. Why would we go into the light when we are already the light, the God source, the kingdom of God? Why would we do that? We wouldn't. We only would if we just didn't understand who and what we were. And that's the case of the majority of the population. They enter the light, they start the process all over again. Now, we glow. We do. We literally glow. Right in this very moment, in this now, we are glowing. Now, you don't see it with the eyes that you have with that body, but we're constantly glowing. It's our aura field, our auric field. All the color combinations of what? The chakras, the wheels of light. It's all connected. So we also know that if we flew about 200 miles outside this planet and we looked at it, we would say that planet, the Earth, glows. Yeah, it's a God planet paradise that we've created, a new Earth. And you would see that all the lights in the surrounding sacred space, all the star systems and everything in this universe, would pale in comparison to this planet. Now, there are parts of us that we know are awake. Parts of the gods that we are within these bodies. There are parts of us that are awake. And then there's other parts that are asleep. That's okay, though. They'll wake in time. But we're concentrated on those that are consciously aware. And consciously aware means what? That you know, consciously aware that you're of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And we call to our other brothers and sisters that are part of us, the gods that they are, to join us in this meditation for the complete liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, and this now, which quite frankly is in a highly accelerated process. So this includes all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And they're in the numbers of the Googleplexes. One Googleplex fills this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. So that's the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Medantia, Pel, Thoth, Yeshua. The offworlders, the galactics, the celestials. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the inhabitants of beneath earth, Agartha, hollow earth, inner earth. All the galactics, off-worlders, celestials. Now, the archangels are a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. We've met with them for thousands of lifetimes. And they deliver this message in many different ways. We don't always decipher it. We don't always know it was an angel. But then there's the times that we do. And isn't it magna glorious, fantastic, stupendous, spectacular to be alive in these bodies? We can taste, we can eat, we can smile, we can laugh, we can cry, we can hug, we can hold, we can kiss. We don't do any of that as gods. We don't sleep. We don't drink water, anything. We don't eat. No wonder these bodies that we're in are so seductive to us, and why we get so attached to them. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions. It's because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. And if you want them to surround you, you just ask. They will, and then you'll be in bliss. Now, the ascended masters, they have mastered ascending into physical, out of physical, holding pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical, are in the process of mastering physical, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. Now, the offworlders, which we're only familiar with a small group of them, over 1,000 species travel through this solar system every single day. Trillions throughout the universes every single day. And the ones that we're familiar with, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Felines, Zeta Reticuli, the Nords, the Greys, the Anunnaki, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, all light energy beings, with the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So there's a lot of light energy beings at different light spectrums that we just never see. But we do interact and we do participate with a small group of them. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, and many, many, many more. And we're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, so to speak, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love, light, energy within each and every one of us. The God source, the kingdom of God. This is of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Now, this light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brightness. And we begin to ascend above the planet. as we flood it with deep, pure, eternal love, gratitude, and peace, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, we are met with this massive ocean of glitter. And it is, to view it, to experience it, it is like the biggest and the most expansive fireworks finale ever, a massive laser light show, and a mirrored bowl of light reflecting all combined. Massive. And we're curious, so we zero in on the reflective points and we notice these little tiny microscopic mirrors, perfectly etched, and we go into them. And we discover that all of us, no matter how life is housed, all of us, learning, teaching each other, learning from, teaching to, learning from, teaching, so on and so forth, on and on and on. We're always learning. Life walks into your view. Could be a dog, a cat, a squirrel, could be a deer, anything. But the God within that is housed in that particular body to experience that particular body's life. And it's magnificent because we have it through this endless journey. When we take the time, and we aren't so focused on the illusion we've created for our own entertainment, which is the material physical world, then we'll watch, we'll observe different forms of life and how they operate, what their message is to us. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected 24/7, always have been, endlessly, eternally. It's never changed. This emanates from the God Force Love Light energy within each and every one of us. It is an armor, a white fire armor that nothing like this on Earth at all, not even close. And all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies cannot penetrate this armor. In fact, they can't come close to it because their vibrational frequency is so low that they would vanish. So they leave us alone. No demon possession, no attachments. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough through hatred, greed, anger, fear, stress, anxiety, hurriedness, revenge, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. Now, we created this double column, and the first part is the purple transmuting flame. We can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness, where they are no more. Immediately behind that is the second part of the column, the violet ray. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, and restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods within these bodies, that we are the sun, the sunlight, the sunrise, the sunset, the soil, the trees, the forests, the skies, the clouds, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the rainbows, the rain, the animals. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise or an ocean front or a mountain view or a starry lit night sky, instead of, we usually say, oh, isn't that beautiful? But then when we start to recognize it, that is the God that I am. That is part of my beauty, my grandeur, my majesty, my spectacularness. We continue to ascend above the planet. And some of us decide to step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above them, if we're carrying physical form. Now, why do we do this? Because we can. We're immediately met with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower, larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. And in the center of the sphere is a golden white bowl of light. And it is surrounded by ribbons, rings of multicolored light, endless. And they're all sending this massive misty cloud. It looks this multicolored, and you can see kind of like sparks and glitter, and it's just completely alive. And we discovered that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And then comes gratitude, peace, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance, great wealth. It's endless, and it is flawless, and we discovered that it is us, a reflection of the gods within these bodies. We look at the top of this crystalline light tower, and we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, as it's doing right now, flooding, saturating, bathing us all 24/7. This is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Now this golden ocean, we are drops of it. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is a drops of the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere going on 4 years ago. It holds almost 1,700 of our meditations in perpetual motion. All of us, hundreds of millions gathered, consciously aware from all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, focused on the complete liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. These meditations do not weaken, they do not drain, they do not dissipate. They do the opposite. They intensify, expand. And they're flooding us all the time. You want to tap into them? All of them? Sit quietly, focus on the breath, close your eyes, and you'll be there. This is why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. When we look beyond our physical existence, we'll soon discover the subtle realms and experience the infinite quality of our souls. A join in meditation. You may turn to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. And an easy breath out the mouth. Move easily and slowly. I will be having a special presentation through a private FESIG forum tomorrow. You can go to FESIG Energy, Free Energy Special Interest Group, YouTube, FESIG. And listen to, this is a private platform through FESIG. Take a single glimpse into what is beyond this physical 3D world. It will reveal everything you need to know. Let something higher from the beyond enter you. For 5 seconds, at least 20 times, randomly today. Allow yourself to feel the subtle energy inside your physical body. Tune into that emotional and super subtle energy you feel vibrating within your very being. Get curious about what it is like and where it's coming from. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here Wednesday, November 24th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation.